physical therapist here at the Hruska Clinic, and I'm going to talk to you today about a very common pattern that we work with in our clinic. This common pattern is that a lot of humans, the vast majority of humans, all favor the right side of their body, whether they're left or right-handed. Inside of us, we're very asymmetrically created. Every human has a liver on the right side of their body, and in the average human, this liver weighs 3 or 4 pounds. On the opposite side of this liver, you have a spleen that doesn't even weigh a pound. So whether you're left or right-handed, you have a liver over here that your teeter-totter's tipped more to the right. This is going to reinforce you being more on your right side. You have 3 lobes to your right lung. You only have 2 lobes to your left lung, and you have a heart that sits over here. And that heart reinforces most humans to reach more with their right arm. This pattern is not bad of being on the right leg and reaching with your right arm. There's a lot more asymmetry inside of you that I won't go in today with asymmetrical muscle attachments, nerves that are longer on one side than they are the other side. But for all intents and purposes, the liver on your right side, the heart on your left side, reinforces humans to stand on their right leg and reach more with their right arm. Let's think about our culture. In our culture, we read left to right. Computer mouses are to the right. Car ignitions are to the right. We run around tracks. We run around grocery stores. We run around baseball or softball diamonds counterclockwise. This counterclockwise behavior, reading from left to right, having our car ignitions and our computer mouses over to the right, reinforces being more on the right side of our body. Again, nothing wrong with this, but it reinforces a pattern of being on your right leg and reaching with your right arm. And then if we compound that with repetitive activity that we enjoy doing, whether it be painting, whether it be yard work where we're digging and planting more with our right arm, or maybe we like to play volleyball back on our right leg with the right arm, following through, or if I like to golf, being back on my right side and pulling through on my left side, being on our right leg, that also helps me to reach more with my right arm and rotate my trunk to the left. Over time, when we lean to the right, stand on the right, and keep going to the right, our body thinks how we're standing on our right leg is the same biomechanical position that I should do on the left side. Being on your left side and having your pelvis oriented over to the right, is not a healthy thing. When you're on your right leg and having your pelvis oriented to the right, having your right shoulder below your left, this is normal and good mechanics. The problem is with your normal asymmetry inside of you, if you're right-handed and do more stuff on your right leg with your right arm, and with our normal culture of reading left to right and going counterclockwise, your body starts to think how you're biomechanically standing on your right leg, because you're doing it all the time. It's the same thing you should do on your left side. When you stand on your left side, your pelvis should not go to the right. Your right shoulder should not be below your left. When you stand on your left leg, your pelvis should go back over to the left and your left shoulder should get below your right. Well, what happens is when we start to favor our right leg, our body gets out of alignment. Think about it kind of like your car getting out of alignment. Your car orients over to the right. So when your pelvis orients over to the right, you can see how that can adjust and affect your spine position. When your pelvis orients to the right, that can affect your hip position, and your hip position can affect your knee, and your knee can affect your foot and ankle. Conversely, if your spine's oriented over to the right, that can also affect your mid-back and your neck, and that can also affect your shoulder. This is not a bad thing. We're supposed to be here for half of the gait cycle. But the problem is if you're going to walk and you're going right, middle, and you're never biomechanically getting on your left leg correctly, that can create pain because muscles and joints aren't going to be in their correct biomechanical position. So in our clinic, we have objective tests to identify if your pelvis is out of alignment and oriented over to the right in order to help to treat you. Our first goal of treatment is to get this pelvis and get it in the right biomechanical position so joints and muscles line up correctly so we can help treat you. If I take this image and draw it from the side, this is your pelvis coming forward. on the left side. This is a very common pattern in most humans. When your pelvis comes forward, your ribs come up. When your ribs come up, my right shoulder's below the left. When your ribs come up and your pelvis come forward, this causes your diaphragm muscle to be more flat, your outer abdominal muscles not to support you, and your hip and your pelvic floor not to be in the correct biomechanical position on the left side to provide stability. So then your body will create compensation for your body being out of alignment and being oriented over to the right. So backs tend to overwork, necks tend to overwork, hip flexors tend to overwork, and the foot and ankle tend to overwork. We have objective tests to identify that you're in this pattern, and we've got to retrain muscles, help to hold you back into a neutral position. Our goal is to get your pelvis to come back slightly. We still want your back to arch, but we want your ribs to be able to come down. When your ribs go down, your diaphragm muscle goes up. When your ribs go down, your outer ab muscles that connect from your ribs down to your pelvis can be able to provide the stability with your hip and your pelvic floor. So yes, your back is working for you. Your back isn't bad. But we also want your back to work with your diaphragm, your abs, and your hip and your pelvic floor to provide stability for you. So your neck, your back, your hip flexor, your foot and ankle are not overworking for you. So our first order of business in this pattern, with the pelvis is oriented over to the right, is to get you neutral, to help joints and muscles to get in the right position so we can treat you. I hope that helps to explain a body that likes going over to the right.